right. Hello, 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 hello. Sean Brady bringing you another fabulous episode of Leverage Your Lunch. Yes, we could call it the lunch hour, but sometimes we don't take a full hour, and you don't even need to be eating lunch right now. But yes, I do have this a golden milk vanilla latte in the background. Now, that was a shake. I actually made that as my protein shake and upscaled my stuff. Hold on, this is live. I'm going to cough. All right. So you get to see me coughing while we're going live. I don't know why I got something in the back of my throat, but I do. So we're talking about budgeting for things you enjoy. And yeah, I like food. Jaleesa likes food. She's eating at one of our favorite restaurants, takeout right now, Kate Zone in St. Louis. How you doing there, Jaleesa?
Amazing. I'm over here stuffing my mouth.
Oh my gosh. I know. You're talking about the hot crisp fish. What was the other? I couldn't get past the hot crisp fish. What was the other couple things you said?
There's a cold salad, which is like, I can't even describe it, but it's amazing. I get it without nuts because I'm allergic. Then there's also dry fried calamari.
Oh, yes.
And the house special stir fry noodles.
Dry fried calamari and the house special noodles. Oh my goodness.
Delicious.
That sounds delicious.
It is.
Just delicious. All right. So we're talking about budgeting for things that we really enjoy. And I know offline we talked about some of the things that you do. So yes, definitely food. I would even call for myself food excursions. You know, I probably do spend a little bit more than the regular budget on food because, well, one, we have 6 people in our house, right?
Right.
So there's one just pure mass. We just have more people eating. And then we have picky eaters. We have a vegetarian. We have someone who thinks they're a vegetarian once in a while. Somebody's just eating more vegetarian. And that actually helps because meat is pretty dang expensive. So, you know, we're like, oh, we're saving money this way. And that kind of I found that fulfills on one of my needs to create new foods. So we've been doing a whole bunch, especially thankfully we're in the fall season now and it's cooler outside. So I'm experimenting with all these different soups and bean dishes and things like that. And yes, I know you country people out there it's like, no, you can't eat beans and legumes, all the lectins and stuff that's bad for you. And it's like, well, yeah, I'd have a pressure cooker and I do actually double pressure cook it and things like that to remove some of those bad things. So I found it to be pretty good and my body doesn't seem to have any adverse reactions so far. Time will tell. But budgeting for things that we love, right? Budget for things. It's like, hey, it's all in your mindset. You know what you love to do. Now, just figure out what's the less expensive way you can do it. Now, Jaleesa mentioned some of the things like, I like my pampering thing, get my nails, get my hair done, get a little massage now and again.
There's other
and
things.
I don't necessarily like all those things because I don't get my hair done and I don't do my nails all the time. I get my like every once in a very blue moon, I'll get them done, right? But that's not super high priority for me. And we can't go to sports events and things like that. But even when we could, that wasn't a high priority for me. I just didn't like paying a lot of money to go to the thing unless it was a really big game. I was with a certain group of friends that I know would also enjoy a big game and things like that. But I still, from a food standpoint, you know me, I'm not going to like have an awesome experience with the food unless it's something new and exotic and different. And, you kind of know what you're going to get when you go to the ballpark. And I don't like paying that much for it either. It's outside of my budget comfort zone. So begin to realize what your budget comfort zones are, right? So when it comes to nails or your hair or massage, do you have limits, Jaleesa?
I do. I have limits. I do. And it's more so based around the frequency because usually the price is what the price is going to be.
Right.
But it's just how often it happens.
And it's not just the price, it's also the tax and typically the gratuity, right? You have somebody shampooing your hair, or I don't know what to do to you. I just kind of know what Michelle does for hair because I have no concept. I have no concept when to go to the hair place. Not for me. I haven't done it in like 2 or 3 decades. But in reality, that's something we need to account for. And it's something that's important to my wife. I know it's something that's important to you. And if I had hair, it'd probably be something important to me too. But it ain't.
But it's not. Yes, we all have different things.
So my hair budget goes completely into foodstuffs. And I do like to experiment with it and just be really different in my choices of trying new and exotic things that I never tried before. I might not like it, but that's okay. I still budgeted for it. So that's kind of common sense thinking, isn't it? It's just kind of common sense. Do what you like to do.
Yep.
And, that's what Dave Ramsey, big fan of Dave Ramsey, big shout out to Dave. Thanks, Dave. And it's like, the common sense thing that this is an Abe Lincoln quote. I think it's Abe Lincoln who said it. Common sense ain't so common. So, we know these things fundamentally. Now, why don't we do them?
Because a lot of times they require discipline.
Lots and lots of discipline and practice, right? Mm-hmm. So the things that we're doing, and I thought of this the other day, is money is an awesome tool, right? But one of the best things and indicators that it shows us is the things that we're actually committed to. We might not think about money this way, but everything that we spend our money on is something that we're committed to. Even like the simplest things, right? Are we buying, like you're buying an experience from Kate Zone today. Awesome, fun thing. You can't do it every day. Yeah. It's like if you did it every day, you wouldn't enjoy it as much, right?
Exactly.
But then there's also the things that we do on a regular basis that we don't think about. That's still our choice. Like the gas station we go to, filling up the tank. Those are things we're committed to. Well, I need to drive my car around to do this. Or do we? If we really take a step back, is there a way we could do our life with removing some of these things?
It's a good question.
Right? It's just something to consider. But the best place to look at our budget is, of course, the money that we're spending. And we've talked about this in past episodes, right? So if we look back at the money we spent, even in the past 30 days, it's really easy. Just get out your credit or debit card, ideally debit card statement, right? It's just all in one big statement.
Correct.
That way we know we're not overspending because we're working off of something that we already have versus something that we owe later on. And I know there's arguments about points and stuff like that. It's like, oh, I get all this money back. I'm tempted by that too. And the credit card companies and the banks that issue those are making millions.
Yes. Yeah.
Millions.
Correct. Yeah.
Off of interest that we seemingly think of isn't a big deal.
Yep.
So we can afford and enjoy the things we want when we work and enjoy them more. And money is a great indicator of that. So the things that we're really committed to is where we look back and we can just look at the things that we spent money on. And it might be a fun little thing, a fun little exercise just to look for yourself. You don't have to share it with anybody. You could.
Yeah. And see what's going on. See
what
my habits are.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I know I have a lot of, not even so much gas, but a big grocery bill. And then, we have our utilities. That's kind of another big one. And then what's another big one? My clothes aren't that much, I don't think anyway, because I try to keep them low. I kind of keep that the fashion low, right? But now it's going back to school time, and our kids are actually going back to school physically. Wow. And so it's like they're like, oh yeah, we need new stuff. I'm like, well, why don't you ask me this a month ago? And it's like I could have been finding all the awesome deals on all this stuff, right?
Yep.
Because you're going to change your mind about stuff in a little while, but that's okay. We still work within our budget. And that's one advantage of having a budget for each category in your life. So not just the things that you enjoy, certainly budget for that, maybe even a little extra.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep. And that's rewarding.
That's super rewarding. And there's all these other categories of life that we got to cover too. It's just practical. It's just common sense. It's just something that we can, and I hope everybody takes advantage of. So all this being said, I wanted to do a quick little video on this, show off this golden milk vanilla latte, right? I actually made it two ways. First, I made it as a coffee, and then I'm like, oh, I'll add it to my protein shake and mix it up a little bit and actually have a warm, healthy shake. And I did. The point is that I enjoy getting these things in these little specialty coffees, but instead of paying, $5 or $6 for them, which we do on occasion, especially if we're on vacation, man, it's nice to really get that memory, come back to this when you figure out how to make it yourself. And I think I might have unlocked the code this morning with my little golden milk latte for this morning. And it took some time, but I mean, the cost on it was ridiculously low. I mean, it was, I think for two of us, it was less than $1.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Right. The most expensive thing, we did rice milk, and I know some people do oat milk or almond milk and things like that. But if you think about it, for two people, it's only 2 cups. A bit, even an expensive $3 or $4 container is 4. So that's $2.
Yeah, that's nothing.
And part of it was, half of it was coffee.
Oh, wow.
That's like nothing. So when we begin to break things down and we learn these things, what's the real experience that we want to have? One, I get the joy out of making it. So that's my joy and experience. But then the other one is for my wife, is that she gets to enjoy a little treat and enjoy her marathon of business calls that she's on all day, right? A little bit more. She gets to sip on that. Instead of just pounding coffee, she doesn't drink caffeine. So it's, it's just a little something to warm her up on a cold, chilly day.
Exactly.
So I hope this was fruitful in bringing some thinking to your life, to your budget, and looking at, oh, here's how I can easily do this. It's not hard.
No, it's not at all. You just have to, like we said, have the discipline for one.
Yep.
And then take that time to evaluate what your budget is.
Yep. And hey, maybe the first discipline is just being aware of what's going on.
Being aware, making sure that you are constantly aware of what you are doing.
Yeah. And the other thing I put down in my note, the other thing was even before you go back to the budget, and Josh was on a call earlier today, is start with why. It's a Simon Sinek thing. It's the name of a book, but it's really a great question. Why do I like this thing? And then more specifically, once you answer why, it's like I like creating it. I like recreating it from an experience I had before. My wife might not. She likes the coffee or the drink, right? Mm-hmm. But why do we enjoy it? And then what specifically about it do we enjoy? And then once you hone in on that, then you can get really focused and tight on maximizing your experience with whatever your budget allows.
Correct. It's like, what are you really trying to get out of this experience or this purchase or this? Yep.
That's right.
I see.
And it's like, it's the same thing. It's like, you're going to a hairdresser, you're going to a specific one, and then all of a sudden you get there and they didn't call you because, your hairdresser that you were expecting to be there was last minute sick. Something happened.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean that it's like, okay, that you might even be able to reschedule, but it's not the same experience if it's automatically switched up on you.
Right. Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So true.
So same thing for, the chef changes at a restaurant, or it's like, oh, don't go on this day, go on that day, or, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. So it's good stuff. All right. Now I'm getting to the point where I'm rambling. So I'm going to begin to end this one. And Jaleesa, thank you as always. You're always a fabulous guest and co-host of this show. Thank you for being an awesome media coordinator and getting the bumpers ready and posting all the videos out there. I just really, really appreciate your support.
My pleasure. Anytime, Sean.
Awesome. All right. Well, that being said, we may not see you guys in person, but we're always going to see you right here on social media. Thanks for watching.